Yay, you guys made it back. Welcome back. I know that I said I was going to make a little condensed version of my trip to Hawaii, so I finally did it. I'm finally doing it. I want to just kind of break it down day by day, as condensed as possible. We'll start with that. Leaving. It turned out that Chicago had a huge snowstorm the day of, and I was like, what are the odds? It's been great weather, and then the day that I leave for Hawaii, it's snowing and it's a blizzard. I could not have picked a better day to head off to Hawaii because it's March and it's snowing in Chicago right now. So I got to the airport only to find out that my flight was delayed an hour. I have a connecting to make, you know, like I was flying from Chicago to LA, and then turns out that my flight ended up being 2.5 hours delayed. So I was like, oh, this is good. I've got a carry-on, that's it. I don't have any checked bag. I gotta find the next flight out. And he goes, okay, well, it looks like we do have a spot for you. I was like, what? Because I guess it was weight restricted. So, hey-o, going back to my last video, a carry-on, thank you, Jesus. It did me wonders. We get up and running, great views. So 5 hours later, I land in the Honolulu airport. And here I am at the Honolulu airport. It is currently midnight. I've been traveling for about 12 hours. I was lucky to get on a flight to Honolulu. That way tomorrow morning at 5 a.m. I will hop on a flight and hop the island from Honolulu to Kona. Turns out the area that where my gate was closed until 4 in the morning. So I was like, cool. So I made a little bed. I made a little bed in the Honolulu airport. Here are my sweet sleeping arrangements. Then I made it to my gate and got on the plane. Anyway, finally landed in Kona. Thank Jesus. Kissed the ground, glad I made it, but just the whole process of getting there was exhausting. All things aside, because I got there so early, I did have a chance to explore during the day. Ryan dropped me off at his cute little cottage, and then he headed to work, and then I explored on foot. It's far walking on foot to get anywhere, but I did it anyway because, again, didn't have a car. I was determined to see the ocean. I'll walk until I find something. It was a great walk because it was all down. I did find the ocean. It's a place called, oh my gosh, Kealakekua. If I butchered that, I'm sorry. Kealakekua. But it was basically like a little scenic spot. So it wasn't a place where you could swim, and that's okay. And I was like, like the little things in life, every view. I took appreciation in every single moment that I had, walking down what most of the locals would be like, okay, it's just a normal road. I'm like, man, this road is awesome. Later on that night, Ryan took me to Kona Brewery. He asked me what I wanted to eat, and the first thing that came to my mind was pizza. Yes, on an island, you should be like, ooh, yeah, seafood, yum, yum, but I have to, everywhere I go, I have to try the pizza. I just have to, because I love pizza. But that wraps up day number 1. Day 2. Day 2 was really cool. It gave me an opportunity to go explore on my own with a car, driving to a destination. Like, I travel a lot, but I usually have someone with me. Like, I usually have like a sidekick, you know, where we can kind of entertain one another, explore together. But this time around, I made it out on my own. I went to Captain Cook, which is in Kona. It's a hike, and at the bottom of the hike you can go snorkeling. It was around 8 in the morning. Going down was super easy. I finally made it down there, and the water was so freaking clear. It was so cool. And I am claustrophobic, so right when I got in the water, I was like, you know, breathing really heavily, and I was like, I kind of felt a little suffocated. Just like, sounds super glamorous, I know. But anyway, just me hanging out by myself. But I did get to meet a couple locals, and I got to meet a couple travelers that were traveling on their own as well. Even though you're alone, you're never really alone, which is pretty cool. And I appreciate and respect that there are other people out there just trying to open their eyes to what this crazy, awesome, beautiful world has to offer. It was a really cool experience. I was probably down there for a couple of hours, just hanging out, and when I wasn't snorkeling, I was just sitting on the rock and kind of appreciating the time, because I had plenty of time. I had all the time in the world, so what's the rush, really? So I already snorkeled once. I'm probably gonna go ahead and snorkel one more time, because the weather's really nice and it's a lot clearer outside. Then probably sit out here and dry for another half hour. When you're looking at something so good, you can't rush it, otherwise it goes by too fast. Keep that in mind. Don't rush it. Take a moment to take it in. That's like my biggest piece of advice. Just stop, slow down, and just stare. Really value the time that you have, because good times don't last forever, so you need to make them last as long as you possibly can. So think about that. So the hike back up was dead. It was crazy. It was so freaking hot, and it was all uphill, and it was all over rocks, and I was like, please Jesus, help me make it back to the top in one piece. So I'm basically just stopping quick for a little hydration, and then I'm going to push the rest of the way up this hill. Cheers. And then later that evening, we went to a place called Two Step, and we did a little bit more snorkeling. Had a beer, sat on the rock, a good day of freedom. So it was cool exploring on my own, and then picking Ryan up, and then Ryan taking me to places that he really likes. Yeah, pretty awesome. I enjoyed myself. All right, day 3. What did Julie do on day 3? Oh, she's gonna tell you. I allocated one day for the beach because A, I love the water, and B, I just needed a little bit of downtime just to relax, reset, you know, etc. They called the beach Magic Sands, and the reason why is because that you'll see the black rock, the black volcanic rock, and then you'll see the sand and so on, but just imagine the beach that you see without all of the sand, and then boom, all of the sand is there and it's full. So it's like, where does the sand go, and how does it get back there? If somebody knows, please put it in the comments below, because I'm curious. It's magical. But yeah, so Magic Sands. And then after that, we did a Ali'i Drive, and that's like a strip of stores and restaurants, and you know, there was some live music playing, which I always appreciate, by the way. It was very, even for like a strip of stores, it was very low-key, and I enjoyed it. What a good day. That was day 3 in a nutshell. Day 4, we headed out of Kona, and during my trip, I made it all the way around the Big Island, which was pretty cool, and it's about, yeah, it's a couple hours. Yeah, so we went there. The first thing that we did is we hiked Pololu, and that was, again, it was a completely different hike, but also really, really cool. I was sweating my kakishkas off by the time I actually made it up to the top. I can't really look at the camera because I could fall to my death, but I'll give you an idea of kind of what I'm looking at. We just finished our hike, and the uphill was so steep. I'm a hot disaster, but it was really good. It's good exercise, and we survived, and now we're gonna do some more hiking. Ryan's kind of sweaty also, so because I feel like I'm sweatier than he is, which
Must mean I worked out harder.
So after we hiked Pololu, he took me to a lunch spot that he's been several times. He really, really likes it. It was called Gil's Lanai, and it was a really, really small restaurant. Holy dang. The smoothies were so good, and the tacos were so fresh and so delicious, and it was on TripAdvisor. It's good. Got it. Gil's Lanai, really great spot. We made our way back down and headed on over to Waimea, which it's called the White Road Hike. But by the time we got to the White Road Hike, it was, the weather did not work in our favor. Waimea is a valley that we'd be hiking through, which, yeah, you can see it, like what you can see would be amazing, but I think the idea is also to see, you know, a larger stretch of land, and with all the fog, it wasn't gonna work. So we did not hike Waimea that day. We headed to one of his favorite beaches. Like there were so many different things. There were like low hanging trees. There were a lot of like rocks. It was like so beautiful. So we watched the sunset. It's hard to find the perfect sunset, but I feel like that was coming pretty close. So it was a good day. A good day. Day 4, you were good. So day 5, we went back to Waimea and we got to hike it, and it was amazing. That valley was huge, like huge. I'm gonna show you a really highly entertaining video of me going down a water slide, and I think that you guys will really enjoy it because I have no shame. I know I look completely ridiculous. It's really funny. I look ridiculous. You wanna see it? Okay, here it is. Enjoy. I feel like one time was not enough, so I'm gonna go ahead and show it in slow-mo. Yeah, we're gonna get it one more time in slow motion. Here we go. Good, right? I make the slide look super easy / terrifying. Like if anyone saw that video, they'd be like, I'm not going down that slide. That
is so scary. She's doing tricks, but not very good. Alright, what'd you think?
I'm like,
only like that much.
I was like, I can't stop. I don't know if I'm gonna do it again.
To dive in.
All right, we're done with that. So anyways, we wrapped up that hike. We headed over to Hilo. We saw Rainbow Falls, which was beautiful, and just being that close to a waterfall, I love it. And then after the Rainbow Falls, he took me to this massive tree. I was like, what? I feel like I was in Alice in Wonderland or something. I was like, this thing is huge. And so he got to climb up on it. We trekked over rocks. Of course, I'm like, okay, if he can swim to it, I can swim to it. Like, I swam to a waterfall. What is my life? We didn't get home till late, but yeah, day 5 was a big day. It was a big, busy, adventure-packed day, and I loved it. Day 6, we went back to Hilo. The day before, we had the luscious green rainforest, and then the next day we had desert, dry, sand, charcoal-looking, you know, scenes. Honestly, I liked both of them equally because they were both so different but so beautiful at the same time. Once we got to the volcano, we biked about 4 miles. We saw it, and the cool thing about this, back in, I think it was New Year's, when a big chunk of the land fell into the ocean, and typically when the volcanic lava like shoots out, it only lasts a couple days, if that. And this has been going on since January, just constant. It's like literally, it looks like a fire hose full of lava. I'm like, holy shoot, this is so cool. This, like, I couldn't stop staring at it. I was like, appreciating volcanic lava flying out. Oh, guys. It was so cool. It was like no other. And then of course, we bicycled back and we headed home. So that was day 6. Day 7, Day 7 was my last full day in Kona. Then I went to this place called the Coffee Shack. And you guys, if you are in Kona, please go to the Coffee Shack because it's so cute and delicious and it's got an incredible view. Wish I would have gone there almost every day. Coffee Shack. And then there is this famous painted church. And so I had to check out the painted church. On the outside, it's all white, and then on the inside, it is all painted. The artist painted all of that with house paint. I found it so fascinating. Very small. It was a quick little trip, but I sat in the pew and I just kind of looked. And I'm glad that I saw it, and you guys should see it because I think that you'll be glad that you saw it also. After the painted church, I got to check out this cute, small, botanical, yoga-induced garden. And it was beautiful. Little hidden gems. After the botanical garden, I did head back and then I got to meet up with one of my girlfriends from high school. And you guys, I have not seen her for 10 years, literally. Like, that's insane. Casey, if you are watching this, it was such a pleasure and I will be back to see you. Don't worry. Hakuna Matata. After lunch, I picked up Ryan and we went to Mauna Kea, which is one of the highest, if not the highest point in the world. So really great for stargazing. So I thought it was a perfect end to a perfect trip. I mean, no trip is perfect, but it was pretty close to perfect. We got to see a lot of stars. We got to see the sunset. My heart was so full. It was so full and my view was so expansive and the sunset was so beautiful and the stars were amazing. So I got to see the Milky Way and I was also able to see Jupiter out of one of their world-renowned telescopes and I got to see the 4 moons around Jupiter. And I was like, ooh, science stuff. And then of course, hopped back in the car, headed home, and just tried to reflect on my trip. I was like, no, tomorrow please don't come. Alas, it did. Then he took me to the airport, and then I flew far, far away. That was my trip. That was it in a nutshell, and hope none of you out there fell asleep. But thank you so much for tuning in. Hope you guys have a great day, great night, great morning, great life, wherever you're at. Who knows? Not me. I don't know. Go ahead, comment below if you guys have any questions or ideas or anything like that. And obviously, I shouldn't have to tell you this, but go ahead and subscribe. I don't think it'll hurt you if you do. Plus, it's so easy, just a little clicky, and then you get to hang out with me all the time. Anytime I post a video, we get to hang out, which is always fun. So go ahead and hit the subscribe button. A good old thumbs up if you liked it. We can be really good friends. You know, long distance, close distance, virtual friends. You got a friend in me. Yeah, cool. Well, I'm done. We're gonna wrap this up. So until next time, carry on and be happy. Bye. Mwah.